I'm here with Ameen Soleimani. Would you like to introduce yourself briefly, because we only have 5 minutes?
Sure. I'm a coordination arms dealer these days. Help summon Iran Unchained, NGO DAO to send funds to Iran. Helped with Tornado Cash, now working on privacy pools, which is a fork of that. Helped start Moloch DAO, also run Spank Chain. Started Reflexor, this Rye stablecoin.
Okay, so there's a pretty wide range there. From Spank Chain, which I think of as a rather, let's say, irreverent project, to Moloch, which has this kind of grim mythology behind it. Rye, privacy pools, Iran Unchained all seem a little more, shall we say, grown up. Or I don't know how you're free to give your own descriptor, but what do you think are some of the kind of common threads that have drawn you to all of these different projects?
I think I, despite appearances, am a principled man. I like to work on things that allow me to express my values and promote my values. And each of these projects in some way promotes something that I value. A lot of it is freedom. The freedom to, express yourself maybe sexually and like transact around that. The freedom to run your own money. I don't think we necessarily need to inherit the central banks that we were born with. We can make our own and make better ones. And the freedom to have privacy, which was taken away from at least American citizens rather brutally a couple months ago. And we're trying to earn it back by building privacy tools that are still compliant with the laws.
Okay, so I am going to ask this question that you asked me immediately before we went on camera. A lot of the work that you've done and kind of the way that you communicate is pretty meme-driven. Are memes the same as poetry, or what is the difference?
I think even things like rap are poetry, and the memes that we're putting together, it might not be like poetry in the spoken word sense, but it's poetic in the sense of contributing to the story of Ethereum. Like, one of the things that was brought up on the last panel was the concept of history and how we're moving towards this, recorded history almost for the first time in humanity. And being able to have these memes in place, makes it permanently part of the Ethereum story and the Ethereum culture in a way that I think is, poetic.
Okay, so memes sort of resemble poetry maybe in the way that they add something to a story, or they sort of tell a story in a way that is freed from, I don't know, the constraints of logic and sort of continuous narrative. Do you think that you've learned things, or the way that you approach that kind of narrative has evolved from, say, 2017 or early days until now?
I think a little bit. Maybe I have the similar strategy. The strategy generally is think of the most sort of out there meme that might be a little more controversial, and then iterate it down to something more palatable. I think now I maybe tend to start a little bit more conservative, but I think it depends on the kinds of things that we're doing. I think we don't necessarily need to be as extreme in the mimetic representation of the thing, because what we're actually doing is extreme in itself, and so we can just represent it as it is. Privacy pools, for example, is a project that we're pretty buttoned up, trying to lawyered up, trying to present it to actual regulators. But even in doing that, it's sort of an extreme project because it's a fork of Tornado Cash, which has a whole taboo around it now of why do you want privacy? Bad guys want privacy, and so in trying to change that, it helps to put the positive out there first and be we actually want privacy for everybody. We want to follow the rules. We want to, turn this into something that is not just seen as a weird criminal conspiracy. It's something that everybody should have access to.
Well said, and that's our time. Thank you.